Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and welcome back to another World of Tanks video. This time we're having a look at some of my ace chasing antics. And we are kicking off proceedings in this particular video with the Czechoslovakian Tier 3 light tank. This is the LTVZ-38. It's a kind of interesting machine. We do actually sort of already have this tank in the game in the German tech tree in the form of the Panzer 38. Which was of course a tank produced by the Skoda company, which was a Czechoslovakian company. But here at Tier 3 in the Czechoslovakian tech tree we get a machine that has, I think it loses a bit of the mobility of the German machine, but in exchange it gets this 3-round autoloader, 40 average damage per shell, with a penetration of 82. Standard penetration for a Tier 3, that ain't bad at all. But 40 average damage, 3-round autoloader, so that gives you a clip potential of 120. So basically, this plays a little bit, I guess, like the higher tier Skoda medium tanks with the autoloaders. You're very much just pop out, bam, 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 pop back. You're not going to, unless they've already been damaged, you're not going to kill anyone in one magazine. But by the same token, you can reload the magazine relatively quickly, as you saw just then. This is actually a fun little tank to play, so if you're interested in something slightly different, and the fact that this is a low tier tank doesn't put you off or you find appealing, you might find it interesting to pick this thing up. Like I say, it is a fun little tank. It reminds me a little bit of some of the British low tier tanks with the pom-poms and the Bofors guns. In fact, the main reason why I'm not keeping this tank is because I have kept the Cruiser 4 with the Bofors. And it has a, whilst the exact mechanics of the gun are different, it has a similar kind of playstyle. But this is a fun little tank, so you might find it interesting. Now you can see that so far I've had a deeply underwhelming game. I've managed 12 assistance damage on a T29, and that is it. Scoreline is 8-7. I've made it up onto the hill. I mean, we know this is going to be an ace game because Chase the Ace video, yeah, but it really doesn't look like it at the moment, and I certainly wasn't expecting anything special when I played this game. And we're just trying to find somewhere to be useful at the moment, and we're going to make a bit of a mistake in a minute, but never mind. So this is not an example of amazing gameplay, just a heads up in case that wasn't glaringly obvious. MTLS, there's a nice mistake. So I actually eat 2 magazines from MTLS's, there's 2 of them. They get little 2-round magazines, ba-bum, and then the other one was like, ba-bum. So I only actually exchanged 2 of my shells and ate 4 of theirs in return, which is a bit of a rubbish trade. I mean, I was struggling to make the gun depression work. That's the other thing with this, compared to the British low-tier light tanks. Whilst the gun depression on this tank is not hideous, it's just not as good as those machines, so I find those more comfortable, but it's an interesting little tank nonetheless. So we just lost our medium 3. If the M2 medium on the enemy team is going to poke out, I should be able to kill him in 2 shots. But as it is, yeah, no. And the scoreline is 10-11, and we have still done very little this game. Oh, he does now. 1, second one flubs, he misses his, 3rd shot goes in, he is dead, and the magazine is almost reloaded. It doesn't take too long. And we actually pick up a kill. Hurrah! We get a little bit lucky in that we didn't eat the shell from him. But it probably wasn't particularly well aimed, so yeah. Also bear in mind my crew in this tank at the time when I played it, not particularly good. Right, MTLS. 1, 2, 3. There we go. 121. So pretty much bang on average. As we work that guy over, and he's dead. Artillery finishes him off, and there's only 3 of them left on the enemy team. So we've got another MTLS, a Bison, and a Sexton 2. This was played at the time when the MTLS had, was it from a mission you could get it? And so there were quite a few of them still roaming around on the battlefields, but it wasn't too long after that, I don't think. Anyway, we're in a bush, and we're trying to spot some people out, and Bison, 1 shot, 2 shots, and 3. 122 from the magazine, which leaves that artillery on 8 hit points. 8. Nonetheless, reload the mag, and we're just going to blind shot where he was for a bit, in the hopes that we can pick something up, but no joy. So, 3 of them left on the enemy team. One of them we know is the 8 health artillery. There's another artillery somewhere, and still that MTLS. Okay, fair enough. So I decided to move around to the other side of the hill, see if I can spot the MTLS out. Would be nice to keep the friendly Su-26 alive. The more support, the better. And anything? No. Wait for the binos. Nope. Okay. Maybe he's being really sneaky, or maybe he's just not there. I hang around for a short while, just to try and make sure. But no, nothing appears to be happening. Okay, screw that. Fair enough. Alright. So, maybe he's over. Wait, spotted Sexton 2. Oh, okay. One of the enemy artillery has decided... Oh, that's a flub shot. Decided to come out to play, and has he just gone AFK or disconnected or something? Well, I'm not complaining. There we go. We finish him off, but that was a little bit weird. Trying to avoid the Bison. Don't want to eat a shot from him. This would be really sad because we only have 55 health. And there's now the 2 of them left alive. So, ooh, what was that? 2 shots just went into the rubble. Now, actually, at the time of playing this, I'm not sure I noticed those shots. I don't remember them. Though my memory is pretty terrible, so that doesn't necessarily say a huge amount. Anyway, we're going to go and see if we can find that Bison again. Can we spot him out once more? We were able to do it earlier on. And binos up. No, I think last time we were able to do it is he moved or something. So we're just having a bit of blind firing. It's very unlikely the Bison's got any vision range enhancing equipment. And his view range is going to be pretty terrible by default. So I feel pretty safe just taking a few shots there. Though, to be fair, we don't know where that MTLS is. And he could really spoil our parade. Is he over here? Spoiler alert, no he's not. So I'm just going to speed this along a little bit because I spend a little bit of time trying to find that MTLS. And eventually I get a little bit tired of it and think, okay, screw it. Let's go and see if we can deal with that Bison and then flush the MTLS out at some point. The Su-26 is pinging all over the bleeding map, so I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I think he's trying to indicate the MTLS might be coming down the 8 line, but honestly, yeah, it's so... And there he is, actually. Oh, we eat 1 shell. Ugh. But there's so many squares pinged that it's very difficult to tell what exactly the guy was trying to say. So we actually flubbed the first shot and the second, and you know what? I'm not going to push that. Reload the magazine. I can kill this guy in 1 mag, and I'm hoping artillery's going to do something here to help me out. And he does, and he misses. 1 shot. 2 shots, and this MTLS appears to have ballsed up. Maybe he doesn't have the gun depression to make that position work. Whatever it is, he's dead and I'm not. We'll take it. So I'm just hunkering behind this rock just to wait for myself to become unspotted. What I don't want to do is pop out round the side of a rock, technically while still spotted, and have that Bison land a big fat HE round onto my face, because I have 18 hit points. He just needs to sneeze in my general direction and I'm going to fall over and do a convincing impression of a watermelon dropped from a great height onto something hard. Yeah, this was confusing. So the SU has got messages going, ready to fire, but the guy is clearly moving, so he's not ready to fire. I mean, it's low tier artillery. Maybe he just accidentally hit the button, I don't know. Anyway, just this artillery piece to find, and there he is, pretty much exactly where he was last spotted. I guess my blind shots just whiffed or something. Oh well, maybe he hid behind that little piece of building. Artillery takes a shot and misses. Okay, I'm happy for artillery to get this kill. I just want this game to be over and for us to get the win. That's all I want. And artillery takes the shot and misses again. So I'm getting a little bit tired of this. I decide, alright, screw it. I'm going to back off by enough of a distance that I'll no longer be spotted, and then, oh, okay. Or he could commit suicide, that's fine too. And voila! That's the game. Cool. Now, honestly, I was a little surprised to see that this was an ace, but, you know, I'll take it, it's fine. Especially after the slow and dodgy start and a couple of really dubious decisions, but whatever. So we got Fighter, Fire for Effect, and a Pascucci's Medal for killing both of their artillery. 634 damage done, 4 kills, 702 base XP. 30 shots fired, 18 hits, 18 penetrations. I mean, basically, anything that wasn't blind had a pretty good chance of hitting and whatnot. Yeah, there we go. That was our ace in the LTVZ38. Hurrah! Okay, second game of this video then, and we've bumped it up a few tiers to tier 7. So we're playing in the tier 7 French heavy tank. This is the AMX M4 45. This thing is painful. I know there's a couple of people who like it, all 3 of them, but I just don't. The only reason I rebought this, 2 reasons I rebought this tank. One, because they released the second French heavy tank mini branch thing, which comes off of the M4 at tier 7, which seems to be a rather cunning ploy from Wargaming to get you to free XP past it, because a lot of people don't like this tank. And 2, because I didn't have an ace in it, and this is a Chase the Ace video, so ta-da! Some of the more observant of you may have noticed, by the way, that I'm using the 105mm gun. Now, that's because I was fed up with the 90mm where you aim, and assuming you even hit, you hit for 240. This at least hits for 300, and if you're willing to fire a lot of APCR, 330. Now, I'm not actually firing a lot of APCR. I think I'm going to fire 2 rounds this entire game, and I'm going to explain why I fire each of them as I do. So, penetration of 175 and alpha damage of 300. So it's kind of a little bit like the IS's gun, except you've got gun depression and a bit less alpha damage. But you know, go figure. So we put a shot into the T29, and then execute the KV-85, and we actually bounce a thing. I just want to see, where was that from? Oh, that was the gun mantlet absorbing a shot. Lovely, we actually did a thing. OI Experimental over here. Now, I'm going to take the shot at the OI Experimental. I know they buffed the armor on this thing, but I'm not sure by how much. So I'm going to assume that my AP round is not going to penetrate. So I'm preloading an APCR round, and as it turns out, I needn't have bothered. But I'm loading it now, so screw it. I could have just gone with AP, but, you know, there we go. He is dead all the same. So that's the first APCR round I fired. It was completely unnecessary, but I didn't really know that at the time. Crusader, no idea why he decided to stay there. My gun is bigger than his, and that was always going to end badly for him. He becomes kill number 3, by the way. Less than 1,000 damage, and we've already got 3 kills. Well, actually, because the damage on the Crusader was blind, it's probably over 1,000 damage, just. But still, 3 kills fairly early on. That's quite nice going. We're here on Westfield, by the way, I probably should have mentioned. And I've come up to the hilled area over here because we've got decent gun depression, and so this seems like the natural place to go to. It also seems to be the area that typically tends to decide games a lot on this map. Put a shot into the side of the turret on the KV-1S. Roll slightly low, unfortunately, so we don't pick up the kill, but we'll see what we can do about that. And yeah, we make up for it by picking the kill up there. He becomes kill number 4. A rather juicy looking Stug over there, who looks like he wants to become kill number 5. Like that. He's clearly got the small gun, because we just bounced 110 average damage from him, so poor guy. Not even got the proper 75mm gun. Never mind. So far the only damage I've taken is a bit of HE from the OI Experimental, which is fine. So I decided to go over this side of the hills now. We're winning 6-5, and the T29 has just died to our Panther. And I'm 1 kill away from a Top Gun, which is nice. And we're just seeing what we can make happen here. AT2, no, doesn't look like it. T67, not so much. Now, there is a Dicamax in the background. You need to be careful of Dicamaxes because they have good gun depression and pretty painful guns. I have no idea what that shot really was. I should have taken that far sooner. But hey, my reaction time is approximately comparable to, I don't know, a slow thing doing slow things. My metaphor broke down, rather. So, trying to find the Dicamax here, or the T67, I'm not a particularly fussy man. Is it going to crop up? I don't have any binos or optics on this tank. When playing it with this gun, I have an enhanced gun laying drive instead, because the aim time is kind of painful. No one here. Oh, there we go. Hello, Mr. Dicamax. How are you today? And God, is he going to pull back? I thought having fired he would have done. There we go. High damage roll. We take 348 hit points away from that guy. And I thought we might have the reload to take a punt, but apparently not. So we're going to back off. We ate a shell from him. It was actually an APCR round. I mean, with APCR, that gun gets like 230 pen. So yeah, that was always going to go through. And shout out to our artillery. The Hummel actually polishes that fellow off. So thank you very much, Artie. Going around here now. I mean, this is still a relatively close game. And we flub that shot and we eat 2 rounds, just regular AP rounds by the way, from the T67. He's only got about 130 penetration. Just goes to show you do not need lots of penetration to go through the armour on this tank. The armour is not great. Now trying to pick out a long range shot on initially this P43. This gun is not particularly accurate. I mean, even the 90mm the top 90mm doesn't have great accuracy. So it's another reason I plump for the larger caliber gun. If you're gonna have a gun that has horrible aiming stats and poor accuracy, it would at least be nice if it hit for a lot of damage, minimising the number of shots you need to try and take. Oh, and I just got invited to a platoon by the Hummel. Fair enough. And our Thunderbolt just went down. So we're gonna get a little bit lucky in a moment. Taking a long-range shot on this T-34-85, lots of lead, and boom. It's a low damage roll, but having connected that shell, I really cannot object. And we're going to come around to the side now. We want to try and keep our artillery and our tank destroyer here alive. Friendly VK has decided to go for artillery. Is that going to be a wise decision, or is that going to bite him on the bum and he actually gets derped in the face? Now I'm going to get lucky again in a moment. Always nice when you get a little bit of luck. So, T-34-85 is frigging going for our artillery. I don't really have time to properly aim that shell, and boom! It hits, it penetrates, it's a high damage roll, leaves the guy on 2 hit points, which is slightly annoying, but to argue about that would... yeah, no, I can't really complain about that, or about that shot that I bothered to aim when I just had luck like that. So, at this point I decide, screw it, let's see if we can go for their artillery, because otherwise their artillery is going to give me a headache all game. French tanks are quite squishy, and yeah. So I'm going to go over there, kill the artillery. I've got the high explosive loaded in case it's necessary, although it probably won't be. And oh, hello Mr. M12, and oh, hello Mr. M44, and we managed to just nuke the M44. Didn't really need the high explosive, but at least the HE meant that we weren't going to get a low roll and mess it up. And there goes the M12 as well. So that's the 2 artillery finished, and that means that we've just got this P43 to deal with. Now, I load an APCR round here. Chip, why are you loading APCR? The P43 does get some armour, but not enough for me to really bother, and I'm going searching for the guy, by the way, to really bother loading an APCR for. The reason I'm doing it is because this gun sucks at long range, and I'm expecting the next shells to probably have to be quite long range shots, and the APCR gets a higher shell velocity. Also gets higher alpha damage, but I was mainly doing it for the shell velocity, and I really want to kill this guy. So at this moment, I haven't found him up on those hills. I decide, screw it, I'm going to go and cap. Maybe we can flush this guy out, but plot twist, there he is. And he kills our 60 GFT. So I'm going for him, and then he kills our Hummel. And then he has to deal with me. So the 330 alpha damage also means that I'm less likely to get screwed over by low rolls from the gun. Roll for 322, which is technically still a low roll, but at least I don't get completely messed up. And he puts a shot into me. He's firing APCR here as well, so, you know. But we're able to put the last shot into him. So technically I fired 3 rounds of APCR. It was 2 into that P43 at the end. But I've explained why. And we're able to pick up the kill from height, and voila, close the game. So let's just have a look at the post-game stats for this one. Right, well, I mean, this is a Chase the Ace video, so it's going to be an Ace tanker, no surprises there. Fire for Effect, Duelist, Hand of God, and bruiser. We also managed to finish a mission which involved destroying 4 heavy or medium tanks. Hurrah! We also picked up a high caliber medal, a Top Gun, a Pascucci's medal for killing the 2 artillery, and also a Radley Walters for picking up 8 kills. So a pretty nice result, all things considered. 3,309 damage done, 8 kills, 1,328 base experience. Commiserations to the enemy T-67 tier 5 tank in a tier 7 game, over 1,500 damage, but it just wasn't quite enough, was it? It never is. 19 shots fired, 15 hits, 15 pens for that damage count. Most of it from pretty close range. 9 hits received, 6 penned, 3 did not. For 540 damage blocked by me armour. 11 vehicles damaged, so all except 4 of them. 8 destroyed, 869 assistance damage, over 4 kilometres travelled, 6 bonds. And with a premium account that we were running at the time from a mission, I believe it was, that was a 27,000 credit profit, even though we fired 3 rounds of APCR for various reasons. So, there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed that couple of videos. If you did, by all means, feel free to catch some of my others and or subscribe to my channel. And as ever, I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.